Welcome back to The Deep Dive. Today, we're digging into something really fundamental for ethical practice in ABA. We're talking RBT responsibilities to the board, specifically Chapter 7 of the RBT Ethics Code. Our mission? Well, it's to unpack the key nuggets from this chapter, clarify what you, as an RB2 or applicant, really need to know, and then we'll look at how it plays out with some real-life scenarios. Think of it as your guide to this essential piece of the puzzle.
That's a great way to put it. This section, it's absolutely crucial. It lays out the ground rules for how RBTs interact directly with the BACB, the Behavior Analyst Certification Board. It's basically the framework for accountability. It actually mirrors quite a bit of Section 10 in the main BACB code for re-CBAs, setting similar standards. It really sets the blueprint for conduct with the certifying body. It builds trust, ensures competence.
Exactly. And for you listening, whether you're thinking about becoming an RBT or you're already practicing understanding this stuff, it's way more than just checking off a requirement. It's about ethical practice, maintaining your professional standing, and honestly, avoiding some nasty surprises down the road. It's about building that solid foundation.
Okay, let's unpack this then.
Yeah.
Chapter 7 lays out 5 key responsibilities, 5 core things to know.
Right. The first one, and you can argue it's the absolute cornerstone, is providing truthful and accurate information. Always. This means being completely honest in, well, everything you send to the BACB, applications, renewals, any documentation. Why is it so vital? Well, think about it. It's the basis of trust. If the board can't rely on your basic info, qualifications, experience, whatever, then their decisions about your credential, they become questionable. It's not just about not telling lies, it's about active transparency. Even small mistakes or omissions can cause big problems.
Okay, so just to be crystal clear, that means everything, like application details, renewal forms, even a small typo. How far does truthful and accurate really go? Pretty much. It's comprehensive. A seemingly minor error, yeah, it could potentially cause issues if it misrepresents something important. The expectation is diligence. Be thorough. The board relies on this self-reporting, you see, to keep the registry accurate and ensure only qualified folks are practicing. It's about total honesty at every single contact point.
Makes total sense. So from being truthful, we move to something maybe a bit trickier. The second responsibility, reporting specific changes within 30 days. And this is where it gets really interesting because there's a specific list of things, right? Not just any old life change.
No, exactly. It's very specific. And honestly, this is an area where RBTs can sometimes slip up if they're not careful. You must report certain significant changes within 30 days of them happening. This includes any legal charges filed against you, and then any follow-up info the BACB might ask for related to that. Also, investigations or disciplinary actions by employers, like getting suspended or fired for cause, or by government agencies, schools, even third-party payers.
So if you get suspended from your job for something ethics-related, you absolutely have to tell the board.
Absolutely, within 30 days. Critically, you also need to report any physical or mental condition that impairs your ability to work safely as an RBT. And then, the more admin stuff, but just as important, change of name, mailing address, or email address. The advice from the source material is really clear here. If you have any doubt about whether you should report some information, check the BACB.com site for details. When in doubt, report anyway, just to be safe. It's good advice. Protects you and the profession.
That when in doubt report is golden advice, isn't it? It sounds like the board really values people being upfront. Is there a common mistake people make with this 30-day rule? Like maybe thinking if a charge is minor, it gets dismissed, they're off the hook.
Oh, definitely. That's a huge misconception. People often think, it was just a speeding ticket, or it's going to be dismissed, no need to report. Right. But the rule says legal charges. It's the charge itself that triggers the need to report, not the outcome. The board needs to know about the event happening so they can assess any potential impact. Waiting for the resolution usually means you've blown past that 30-day deadline.
Wow, that's a crucial distinction. Okay, so truthfulness, reporting changes. Now, what about how RBTs use the board's own stuff? That brings us to number 3, respecting BACB intellectual property. What exactly counts as intellectual property here for an RBT, and why is this sometimes a trap?
Good question. It's maybe less obvious than, say, the reporting rules. So BACB intellectual property, or IP. That's basically all their copyrighted stuff, their trademarks, their logo. Think study guides, exam questions, forms, even just their brand look. Why is it a trap? Because RBTs often create materials for clients or their agencies, right? Visual aids, data sheets, maybe training slides. This rule means you have to be super careful not to just grab BACB content and stick it in your own materials without checking if you're allowed to.
Yeah.
Like just taking a screenshot of a BACB graphic and popping it into your client handout or an agency training. That could be a violation if you haven't checked the terms of use. It's actually quite a long list of things. For all the specifics, you really need to look at the BACB's detailed guidance, I believe it's code 10.03, in their main ethics code. If you're ever unsure about using a graphic or a term or their logo, it's about protecting the credential's value.
So it's not just about, like, selling their exam questions, but even using a logo the wrong way. That's subtle but important. Okay, moving to number 4. This one feels pretty straightforward. Follow the rules of the BACB and the testing centers, especially about cheating, but I imagine the implications are wider than just the test day itself.
Oh, absolutely wider. This means being completely honest in everything related to testing. And obviously, no cheating, ever. And cheating here isn't just looking at someone else's answers. It includes lying on your application, trying to get an unfair advantage, or collecting or sharing exam materials without permission, like trying to buy answers beforehand, or even just talking about specific questions you saw on the exam afterwards with someone who hasn't taken it yet. That's a serious no-no. Why? Well, it undermines the whole point of the certification. If people cheat, the RBT credential loses credibility. Clients can't trust it. The whole profession suffers. Again, the BACB has more details on this, specifically in exam honesty and irregularities in their main code, section 10.04.
Right. And what if you, like, see someone else trying to cheat at the testing center? Does this rule mean you have to report them?
That's a great point. While the rule is explicitly about your actions, the whole spirit of the RBT code points towards upholding integrity. Seeing a violation and saying nothing, you could argue it kind of condones behavior that hurts the credential. Most professional codes encourage reporting ethical breaches you witness. It's about protecting the field.
That's a critical perspective. Okay, and finally, number 5. Comply with all BACB requirements. This sounds like a big catch-all.
It really is. It's the umbrella requirement. It basically means you have to follow all the specific rules the BACB sets out for RBTs. Covers everything from your initial training, the competency assessment, participating if you get audited, and of course, getting proper supervision. It just ensures RBTs stay compliant with the board's standards throughout their careers. It's not a one-off thing when you get certified, it's ongoing. You have to stay current, meet the requirements as they evolve. It's essential for competence and client safety. General compliance is covered in code 10.05, and supervision, which is huge, has its own section, code 5.0.
Okay, now we've got the 5 responsibilities laid out. Let's make them real. Let's look at some scenarios from the source material. This is where we see what it all means in practice. First up, examination honesty. Let's call it the Pearson Professional Center scenario. Picture this. An RBT applicant pulls up to the testing center, gets out of her car, and this well-dressed guy comes up real smooth and whispers, "Hey, I can guarantee you pass. Got the answers right here, only $25 cash." And he shows her a little folded paper.
Right. And the pre-RBT response, described in the source, it's honestly textbook perfect, almost heroic, really. She says, "I'm sorry, I'm not interested, get out of here." Then whips out her phone, snaps a picture of the guy in his car, and get this, memorizes his license plate as he drives off. This applicant instantly knew buying answers was wrong, totally unethical, undermines the whole point. But what's amazing is her quick thinking. Not just refusing, but gathering evidence to potentially stop this guy. That shows incredible honesty, integrity, and frankly, a real commitment to protecting the profession, even before she's officially an RBT. The source notes she'll make an excellent RBT, and you can see why. That takes guts.
That really is powerful. Thinking beyond just herself right from the start, what's the flip side? What happens if someone doesn't act like that? If they, take the bait?
Oh, the ripple effect is huge. If people actually buy answers, it just devalues the RBT credential for everyone who worked hard and earned it honestly. It damages public trust. Because now you have people certified who might not actually know what they're doing. And ultimately, that puts vulnerable clients at risk. Plain and simple, having potentially unqualified people providing care. It's serious.
Such a critical point.
Yeah.
Okay, next scenario, reporting legal charges. The Ryan's ticket scenario. Ryan's a new RBT. Gets pulled over, broken taillight. There's a misunderstanding with the deputy about what info he wanted. Next thing, Ryan gets a ticket for refusing to disclose his name. He's rattled, perfect driving record. Lawyer friend says they can beat the ticket, but he has to go see a judge. And in all the stress and confusion, Ryan just completely forgets to tell the board within 30 days.
Yeah, this is such a classic example of how easily you can fall into a compliance issue without meaning to. Even if the ticket gets dismissed later, the charge itself, refusing to disclose his name, that's what needed reporting within 30 days. Doesn't matter if it felt minor or was a misunderstanding. So now, according to the source, Ryan's only option is to tell the board immediately what happened and just accept that he might face consequences for reporting late. This really hammers home how crucial that 30-day window is. It's not about the final outcome. It's about reporting the charge when it happens. Life gets messy, stressful, sure, but these professional duties, they still apply.
So just to be sure, even if it was something like, say, a misdemeanor shoplifting charge that got dropped immediately, still has to be reported. Is there any legal thing too minor?
Generally, yeah, any formal legal charge needs reporting. The key word is charge, not conviction. The only real exception might be super minor stuff that isn't usually seen as a formal charge, like a parking ticket. But anything resulting in an actual charge, even if dismissed, report it. The board decides if it's relevant to your practice, not you. It really is safer to just report if you're unsure. Remember that when in doubt advice.
Got it. Crystal clear. Okay, final scenario. Reporting a change of address. Ainsley's move. Ainsley's moved 3 times in 6 months, finally signs a year lease, feels settled, starts a new RBT job, she's excited. Her new supervisor is chatting with her, asks about the new place. Ainsley mentions the view. Then the supervisor casually asks, speaking of the new address, did you let the board know? And Ainsley goes, oh no, I totally forgot. Is it too late? What do I do? And the supervisor reminds her, well, you know you're supposed to report address changes within 30 days.
This happens all the time. It's understandable, right? Multiple moves, new job excitement, things get forgotten. But Ainsley is still personally responsible for updating the board with her contact info within that 30-day time frame. The board needs to be able to reach RBTs for official mail, maybe audit notices, important updates, even disciplinary stuff. So this scenario just highlights that even seemingly small admin tasks are part of your compliance duties. You got to be accountable for your own info, even when life's hectic. Forgetting can mean you miss crucial communications, which could affect your certification.
And what kind of communication could you miss? Is it just like newsletters, or could it be really important stuff?
Oh, it could be incredibly important. Sure, routine updates, but you could miss audit notifications, requests for information if there's been a complaint, renewal reminders. If the board tries to contact you about something serious and the mail or email bounces back, that failure to maintain contact can become its own compliance problem. It could escalate things unnecessarily. It just shows these admin tasks. They're actually integral to staying in good standing. So, if we tie all this together, these responsibilities, they're not just hoops the board makes you jump through. They're really the pillars holding up the integrity of the RBT profession, ensuring competence, and most importantly, protecting clients, their well-being, their trust. It's about protecting the public and the reputation of the profession. And that advice, again, when in doubt about reporting, just report. Check the website first if you can, but lean toward reporting, being proactive, being honest. That's key for your career and for upholding ethical standards.
Exactly. If you really understand Chapter 7 and stick to it, you can avoid a lot of common problems, stay in good standing, and just uphold those high standards we aim for. It's about being proactive, right? Not waiting for something to go wrong. Building and maintaining that trust that's so vital in our work. And with that thought, we'll wrap up this deep dive. Thanks so much for joining us today. As you mull over what we've discussed, here's a final thought to chew on. Beyond just following rules, how does meeting these responsibilities to the board actually help an RBT grow professionally and improve the quality of care they give?
That's a really interesting question. I think adhering to these rules, it really fosters a deeper sense of professional accountability. Ethical foresight. It kind of pushes you to be more careful, more transparent, more proactive in everything you do professionally. And that, inevitably, I think, leads to better quality service, a stronger, more trustworthy professional identity.
Well said. We definitely encourage you to reflect on that, the importance of proactive compliance and ethical thinking in your own journey. Until next time, keep diving deep.